Bonjour, Mary. So today my computer is on a very unstable foundation, so bear with all the shaking. Thank you. You know how Tumblr is this great place to go when you want someone to encourage you, someone to tell you that you're doing great, someone to boost your self-esteem? Yeah, me neither. That is not why I get on Tumblr, and yet I was scrolling through and I saw this post that said something nice. I don't remember what it was uplifting, but it was like, then someone commented, there needs to be more posts like this on Tumblr, and I'm like, does there? If you're going to Tumblr looking for encouragement and upliftingness, I think you're doing it wrong. Go out and find someone in real life who will tell you face to face, because I see a lot on Tumblr that are like, your hair looks great, your makeup looks fine, don't worry about it, which is, in a sense, you do need to hear that even from someone who can't see you, because like, you do sometimes just need to understand that and hear that. However, if you are looking for that from a person who cannot see you, then how can you trust that person? And what does that even mean? And this person isn't even talking directly to you. They're talking to the mass that is Tumblr. No, we don't need more posts like that on Tumblr. What you need is more friends. If your friends aren't going to tell you that your hair looks fine, your makeup looks fine, you don't need to wear makeup, then you have the wrong friends. And don't tell me that you can't have friends. I don't care how small the town is that you live in. There are plenty of people around you that you can be friends with. There is a certain pool that you can date within, and there's a certain pool that you can consider family, because family, is a DNA resemblance. Dating, you can't just date anyone. For me personally, it is people of the male gender who are of college age. So, that's a very limited pool in the broad scope of the world. But as for friendship, you can be friends with anyone. Like, the pool for friendship is 7 billion people. There's so many people out there that you can be friends with. Yes, it's easier to be friends with people who are your own age, who you share similar interests with. If you really feel like you need more encouragement in your life and more positive people, there are plenty of positive people out there. Also in your dating pool, in your smaller friendship, your preferred friendship pool too, but there's plenty of positive people out there. Go out and find them. And in fact, be one yourself, and you will draw them to you as well, and you might even turn some negative people who are around you positive. Okay, now on to Christmas encouragement. The thing is don't stress about Christmas. If you're stressing about Christmas, you're doing it wrong. I have made my mom, a list of what I wanted for Christmas, given it to her, and then she's stressed out about getting me the right stuff. And I'm like, okay, but it's the thought that counts, and I love you for getting me gifts in the first place. So I don't want my mom to stress about getting me gifts, because that's just gonna taint the joy of the season. Another thing that my mom does is she refuses to cook on Christmas, because cooking can often be stressful, especially for a family of 6. She cooks Christmas Eve dinner, which is a big production, and she enjoys doing that. But then she refuses to cook on Christmas, and that's just the thing she does so that she can enjoy the holiday, and she doesn't have to work, she doesn't have to do all the cleaning and all the dishes. She's prepared. She knows that cooking on Christmas would stress her out, so she said enough with it. What she does is we have cinnamon rolls for breakfast every Christmas morning, and she prepares those ahead of time, so all she has to do is turn on the oven, and then she usually makes us just have leftovers for lunch and dinner. So essentially, if you find yourself stressing over Christmas, just remember, you're doing it wrong, and just step back, take a break, and be like, is this really worth stressing over? Because if you're stressing over something that is not going to, in the end, make something better, if you're stressing over a gift to get someone, but eventually that gift is going to turn out really good and you're going to bring a lot of joy to someone else by giving that gift, then I'm going to say, yeah, go ahead, keep doing that thing that stresses you out. But if you're stressed out about buying a gift and it's just going to make you angrier and you're not going to care about how happy the gift makes some person, then just give it up. Don't be stressed, don't be angry on Christmas. It's Christmas, be happy. Christmas is also not a time that you need to be politically correct. And this drives me nuts. When I worked at Kohl's, they told us to say happy holidays, so we didn't isolate anyone, and I I get that. That's all well and good, especially in a business setting. I've seen a lot of people who are like, they're wished Merry Christmas, and then they're like, well, I'm Jewish. And I'm like, so you can still have a Merry Christmas even if you're Jewish. Just because you don't celebrate the holiday doesn't mean I don't want you to be happy about that day. It's just a day. It's just December 25th. I think it's ridiculous that that you're getting mad about someone being nice and wishing you happiness. To put this in perspective, say I like to celebrate my half birthday. It's a fairly obscure holiday. Not that like Hanukkah is obscure, but like my half birthday would be an obscure holiday, and I wouldn't expect people to necessarily know when it was or to wish me a happy half birthday. Now, if my half birthday were to fall around the time or on St. Patrick's Day, and people wished me a happy St. Patrick's Day, even though I am choosing not to celebrate it because I want to celebrate my half birthday, I'm not gonna be mad at people for wishing me a happy St. Patrick's Day, because it's a thing that, a lot of people kind of celebrate, but, not necessarily everyone celebrates. I just think it's ridiculous that people get upset that people wish them happiness. And so, if someone were to wish me a happy Hanukkah, I would just say thank you, you too. I don't listen to hardly any music, Christmas music that was written in this century, because it's all about being single on Christmas. And I'm like, oh really? If there's any time to not care if you're single or not, it's Christmas, because you're surrounded by friends and family, that people who are gonna love you no matter what. They're not gonna change your mind and dump you. But the only holiday that you're allowed to whine about being single on is Valentine's Day, okay? Because that holiday celebrates being in a relationship. Christmas celebrates what you have. And if you don't have a significant other, then you shouldn't be caring about that. You should be caring about the people who you do have in your life who do love you, your parents, your cat. There's plenty of people out there who will love you. I don't care who you are. A couple of years ago, Megan was working in DC, Michael was in Oregon, opposite sides of the country, and I was at college. So we were scattered across the map, and so we only got to come together for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. In fact, I'm not even sure Megan made it home for Thanksgiving, so it might have only been Christmas. It's the one time a year that we know that my family is going to be all together. And my brother respects that. He has a girlfriend, and he spends time with her, and she spends time with us. They both get a lot of family time, even though they spend a lot of time together, but they both also spend a lot of time with their families, which is important. Which brings me to my next point. If you're whining about not having a significant other because that means like now you can't spend Christmas with anyone, then you're doing it wrong. Okay, there's lots of people out there with open hearts and open minds, and a lot of people will open their homes to you on Christmas or Christmas Eve if you have no one to spend it, if you truly have no one to spend it with. Several years ago, a family friend of ours was going through a divorce, and their kids were gonna be with the mom on Christmas Eve and then with the dad on Christmas. But the dad was alone on Christmas Eve. So we invited him to have dinner with us. Even Scrooge in the Christmas Carol, even Scrooge had someone to spend Christmas with. Even though he had spent his whole life obsessing over what he didn't have, more money, and driving everyone who ever cared about him at all away from him, there was still someone who was kind enough to open their home to such a horrible man. There are good people out there in the world who will help you, especially at a time like this. All you have to do is open your heart a little bit. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Au revoir, sister.